what it was. Y'all know who it is. And y'all tuned in with Priceless Knowledge of Self. And this right here, this ain't nothing but some cosmic insight. And before we get started, man, I got to remind y'all of the deal I got going on right now because I need to make some money. I ain't gonna lie to you. So look, man, for a limited time only, I'm offering $50 audio natal chart interpretations. And what that consists of is an hour and a half to 2 hours of me breaking down your chart, man. And I'm talking about, I'm going to go in. I'm going to talk about all the major planetary placements in traditional astrology. I'm going to talk about the hemispheres, the quadrants. We're going to talk about the dominant planets. We're going to talk about all the aspects that are worth speaking on. We're going to talk about the growth aspects. We'll talk about the declinations. We'll talk about your karmic direction, which consists of Rahu and Ketu, or the north and the south node. We'll go all the way in. And there's more than that too, man. Best believe I'm also going to include a 30 to 40 page PDF so you can have tangible proof of your experience. Oh, you can't beat that. If you think that's a lot of money, you're tripping, man. That's a deal you can't beat anywhere. With all the information I'm including, with all the work I'm putting into that myself, get out of here, man. I might as well be giving it to you. And I need that love, man. I need that business. If you've already got a reading from me or you're not interested in that, hey, man, shoot a donation to the channel, man. I'm working hard. If y'all want me to be able to keep doing this, what we're doing right here, I need some help, man. I need some help, man, because I'm in a rough spot, man. I ran into a financial emergency and it's jeopardizing everything that I built up, to be honest with you. I gave too much when I shouldn't have. I got played for a sucker. Now I'm in a position and that's cool. I'll make it. But if we want to make it together doing this, I need some help. And I'm willing to work for it. So shoot some business in my direction. So that don't just consist of natal charts. You know what? I'm also going to do numerology. I'll do numerology for $40 a reading. Okay. That's not going to have a PDF like that. And it's not going to be an hour and a half to 2 hours. What that'll be is about an hour long recording of me breaking down your personal numbers and giving you the energy that comes along with that. And that'll also give you a little bit of insight into the future, the past, all kinds of things with numerology. And you can also tie that into your astrology if you're fooling with somebody that's as talented as I am. Also, synastry readings. I'll do those for $60 a piece for a limited time only. So, hey, man, y'all get at me, man. And other than that, I hope all y'all good, man. Because despite all that, don't get it twisted. I feel amazing, man. You see the smile on my face. I came here ready to serve. And a smile, that's important, especially to this placement. That's because this right here... This a little something about those people that have Jupiter in their 5th house of their natal chart. Oh, we finna have some fun. And hey, man, before we even go there, if you don't know my style, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to tell you a little bit about Jupiter. I'm going to give y'all a little information on the energy that comes along with it and how it might affect you. Then after that, we'll talk a little bit about what the 5th house of the astrological chart is all about. Then after that, we're going to bring it to a culmination, which fortunately for you, I'm one of the coldest closers in the game. So without wasting any more of anyone else's time, let's get it cracking. So Jupiter, this is known by most as the planet of luck, but I also like to call it the thinking man's planet. That's because it really gives us a yin for higher learning and for exploring ideas both intellectually and spiritually. And hey, man, Jupiter rules the sign of Sagittarius in the 9th house of the astrological chart, and to a lesser degree into more traditional astrologers, including myself. It also has a say in Pisces in the 12th house of the astrological chart. And hey, man, intellectually speaking, Jupiter really helps us in formulating our ideology. And in a more spiritual sense, it really speaks to religion and philosophy and theology. And this planet right here, it concerns itself with long distance travel, ethical and moral values, our inherent sense of optimism. Luck and good fortune are going to come wherever Jupiter shows up in the chart too. And you're also going to see luck and good fortune whenever you can employ the characteristics of whatever your Jupiter sign is in. Okay. And hey, man, this is the most kind and benevolent energy there is in the whole zodiac, man. And it really does want you to flourish in the most positive of ways. But there can be too much of a good thing. Never forget that. There can be danger with Jupiter because Jupiter doesn't know how to stop. Jupiter's just going to keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. It has no limits. Okay. Saturn is about limits. So there can be too much of a good thing. There can be overindulgence. Or when everything's going good and the dice keep rolling in your favor, you can get complacent and then get caught lacking. And we ain't trying to do that, are we? So let's pay attention to that and understand that Jupiter takes about 12 and a half years to traverse the whole zodiac, and it spends about a year and a half in each sign. And it's not equal because retrogrades kind of throw it off each year. So, and we're talking about the fifth house now. The fifth house, man. With the fourth being all about home and our roots, it's kind of in the fifth that we burst onto the scene in our full motherfucking glory. Hey, that's because it's ruled by Leo in the sun. And it kind of represents the natural blooming of our character in its most concentrated form. And it's in the fifth that the great test involves the ability to act out one's innermost nature by purity of motive. Oh yeah, this is the house of creativity. This is the house of drama. This is the house of fun. This is the house of children. This is also where you would see your casual sexual relationships or casual sexual affairs. Okay. This is fun fucking. This ain't relationship or marriage like you see in the eighth house with intimacy or in the seventh house with your marriage or relationship. Okay. Nah, this is the fucking you do for fun. This is casual, or you could just call it dating if you're not into that. And I totally respect that. Most definitely, man. Really, it's just all about the outward positive release of one's energies. Okay. And it's here that you kind of do your best shit, and whatever signs on the cusp of the fifth house and the planets here, they kind of show where our power lies creatively. And they also show where how we portray ourselves on the stage of life. Okay. And, this is how we get our shine on. Oh yeah. And the fifth is also about our passion and what stirs it. And it really speaks to how we express joy for life in an outward way. And if a malefic like Saturn is here, or if Chiron's here, it could also show how our enthusiasm is being repressed or why it's being repressed. And, this is the realm of the eternal child. And it really speaks to how we have the most fun. Okay. Remember that. So when we taking Mr. Jupiter, Mr. Do It Big, and we're placing him in the fifth house. Have y'all ever encountered somebody with a genuine love for life? Man, I'm talking about that beautifully warm and playful energy that you just can't do shit but just smile and shake your head at. Well, if you have, then you already know. You've probably been blessed to meet somebody that has this placement right here, man. Because fifth house Jupiter people, they were born to enjoy life. Yeah. That's what it's about, man. And these are truly positive. These are truly friendly people that really are always open to new people and new experiences. So their optimism, it often, turns into opportunism for them, which is a beautiful thing, man. And that kind of looks like luck from the outside looking in. But really what it boils down to is belief in self. Oh yeah, that's what it is more than anything else. Cause, one of the hallmarks of this placement, kind of like when we were talking about Sun in the fifth, is, the absolute supreme self-confidence that comes along with it. Cause these are some of the most natural, optimistic and creative and courageous people that you'll ever meet in life. Okay. And in being all that, please understand that these motherfuckers here, they ain't never scared to take risks. No, these are the type that laugh in the face of danger, man. And nothing sounds more fun than a thrilling adventure to them. Well, except maybe for sex, cause there really ain't much more that they enjoy than that either. And, I do have to be honest and say that with Jupiter here, this might be somebody that gets around a little bit, or a lot with Jupiter. This is going to blow that up, especially if that Jupiter happens to be in a fire sign or Scorpio or something like that, or Gemini too. Cause, as I always tell y'all, man, there ain't nothing wrong with that either. Understand, there ain't nothing wrong with that as long as you're having fun and as long as you're being safe and respectful. But the thing with that is Jupiter here suggests a gambler. So playing it safe, that ain't something they always do best. And, this is Jupiter though. So they'll probably stay blessed no matter how unsafe they play it to a certain degree. But I'm not telling you to go out there and live dangerously. Don't do that. And, either way it goes, man, having Jupiter here is going to suggest somebody who's just incredibly passionate about their love life. And they're probably an extremely passionate lover too, man. So this area of life is often just going to show up to be a great area of joy for them, man. And, that's probably a beautiful thing, man, especially when you run across somebody that might have Jupiter in the fifth house. Okay. And switching lanes from there, we can't also ever forget that the fifth house also rules over sports. And so a lot of people with this placement, they they can really excel in that domain, whether that be from actually participating in some capacity, or whether it be in gambling or speculation or something like that. Or you could be doing something like analyzing or color commentating, depending on your sign. So that's something to look at that with that, okay? And we can't ever leave out the fact that Jupiter also rules over spirituality too. And the 5th house rules over children. So this one right here also points to people's creativity and children really helping them feel connected with the universe. Okay. And that's beautiful because both really help them understand their life, and it'll help them figure out their purpose, man, a lot more. Okay, y'all? For real, man. And speaking of kids, let me say that, hey, I've seen in a lot of cases, man, that a lot of Jupiter in the 5th house people end up with a lot of kids. And that's just kind of how it is. This is your kids, and that's Jupiter blowing that up. That's that fertility getting. So be careful when you're living that 5th house Jupiter fun life, because you could have some 5th house Jupiter fertility come along with that. And as long as you can handle that, that's great. But like I said, you don't want no 5th house Jupiter turning into, a 4th house or a 10th house Neptune, where somebody don't know who their daddy is and now they're disillusioned about their life. We don't want to do that, man. And even beyond that, man, even if they don't have their own kids, man, I'm speaking on that. These people right here, man, even if they don't have their own kids biologically, they still have a fond relationship with kids. And kids are really drawn to them, man. That's because they have this infectious, playful energy, as with all 5th house placements that are prominent, man. This is that aunt or grandpa that all the little kids always want to be at their spot, man. And they always want to be around them. And the aunt and grandma or aunt and grandpa, they welcome it, man. Because, they're so damn playful and their inner child is so vibrant that, this is always a really enriching experience for all parties involved, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. And this is another one of those placements that's good for teaching too, man. Best believe, because both the native and these kids right here are going to be tremendous inspirations for each other. And, that could easily end up establishing a beautifully benevolent cycle of learning and love that just keeps going and keeps going and keep going. And in that case, you don't want it to stop. It shouldn't. And, let me go ahead and sum this up for y'all now, man, because you can't let me leave out the fact that, these are some of the most, if not the most creative people that there are in the whole world. And if they're just courageous enough to put themselves out there with their creative endeavors, and this points to them being so because attention is going to be really important to them. And it also says that they're going to get a lot of attention, man. Hey, they could probably see some major blessings come their way. And I've also seen that more than a few people with this placement actually end up being really famous too, man. Seeing that the 5th also, like I said, it wants attention. And Jupiter's going to bring luck to that if that's what you're after. And you got to look at the sign too. And you also have to understand that it might not play out like that, okay? You have to look at what's aspect in it. You have to see if your Jupiter is afflicted and see what's going on in your chart, and you might be able to understand yourself a lot more and see what's going on with it. Because you can look at all this and be like, man, he's a goddamn liar, and I might be or I might not be. This is my interpretation of this placement, okay? And it's a beautiful thing. And the thing is, hey, we all have all this energy available to us. What you do with it is what you do with it. That's what I mean by just because you built like that, you don't have to build like that. And hey, that's some priceless knowledge in itself. That's some priceless knowledge of self. If y'all are interested in the astrological readings and the deals I spoke on earlier, don't hit me up in the comments below. What you need to do is hit me up in my email at mr.turner1300@gmail.com. And the same thing goes if you're interested in any merch, man. But remember, you can get all the merch you want. You can get you a perm. You can be straight up, man. You can work out. You can do whatever you want. But the type of swag that I have, it's got to be in you and not on you. So, let me put it in.